And Kalpa Impact is the knowledge partner driving this challenge. So this event will last for an hour. And in terms of the agenda, you will hear from speakers from Bhashini, you'll hear from leadership from CurrentAI. There'll also be a live demonstration of how the Suno Sutra prototype actually works and what its functionalities are. And you will also hear from the engineers who have developed both the software piece of this prototype as well as the hardware components. And we will walk you through the innovation challenge stages, the kind of prizes that are available, as well as what the developer kit and the challenge toolkit actually looks like and how the challenge will progress. So with that, I will hand it over to Sushant from Kalpa Impact. And before I do that, just a few housekeeping rules. Question and answer will be dealt with at the end of the session. So we have about 10 to 15 minutes reserved for all kinds of Q&A. So please hold your thoughts until then. In the meantime, if you feel like asking any questions, you can also just drop them in the chat box and we'll get to them at the end. Sushant, over to you.
Thank you, Ananya. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sushant, and I'm the founder and CEO of Kalpa Impact. Kalpa Impact, as Ananya mentioned earlier, is the knowledge and implementation partner for the VYOMA Innovation Challenge, which is hosted by Bhashini in collaboration with CurrentAI, both of whom you will hear today. My job is today to talk about and introduce what the VYOMA Innovation Challenge is all about. So the VYOMA Innovation Challenge is a call to imagine a future where powerful AI does not just live in the cloud or in large data centers of technology platforms, but it also can live in the palm of your hand. This is the promise that you will see unfold today.
Sushant, you're on mute.
Okay, please keep yourself muted, everyone. And Neha, may I request to mute everyone again? Thank you. So continuing with that, this is the promise of open source, multilingual, on-device AI, a technology and a device that can work anywhere in connectivity constrained settings as well, and can speak many languages, including the ones that Bhashini has been driving in terms of creating multilingual AI. For this future to exist, we need systems that actually reach people, that are affordable, that can actually be deployed in real world settings, and can operate even in remote environments where connectivity is a problem. And that's what this innovation challenge unlocks. This challenge, as you will see, builds on the Suno Sutra device, which has been co-developed by CurrentAI and Bhashini, and was unveiled at the India AI Impact Summit in February 2026. This device uses Bhashini's indigenous models to offer voice first and conversational AI in 22 plus Indic languages, paired with CurrentAI's hardware expertise, enabling these models to run completely offline. This is an edge device built specifically for zero connectivity settings. And this is the partnership, and this is the challenge that we are here to unveil. And to do that, I would like to invite Shri Amitabh Nag ji, CEO of Bhashini, to deliver his opening remarks. Amitabh Nag ji, please, over to you.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. And thank you, Sushant, for actually, setting this context up. And we are encouraged to see the startups community and the ecosystem coming together and, talking about this conviction for future, which is, based on key things which Bhashini is standing for. Number one is inclusivity. Number two is accessibility. Number three is impact. These are the three things which Bhashini is standing for in this country, and have been striving to do that using its own way in terms of multilinguality and voice accessibility across various domain, which has been there till now. We now are moving into another, area, and we are looking for your support and participation because the progress in AI cannot be defined by model size or compute capacity. It has to go beyond that, and it must be reflected in language literacy, geography, connectivity, etc. Where it should not be a in no way a bound a botheration for anyone to use AI, and that is what we are standing for, and that is what VYOMA Innovation Challenge is there for. So we are looking for we are looking for solutions which are actually lightweight, multilingual, deployable, and genuinely accessible, where we are seeing the normal trends which are happening, where AI systems have been deployed in a very large system, and it has been on cloud, and it has been requiring resources in terms of manpower also, which is basically knowledge intensive. So we want easily accessible, easily deployable, lightweight, etc. All the attributes which should come across for this particular system. The other point which is there is that we should not, as I said, have the data centers control the AI environment. It should be naturally extending to classrooms, villages, farms, health centers, field settings, where connectivity and the machine size does not matter. In this connection, we have deployed and developed the prototype. It is a prototype, and it can further be enhanced, miniaturized and those are the ideas which we are looking at. Those are the use cases which we are looking at from this. The Suno Sutra, which was, as Sushant spoke about, was earlier unveiled in the India AI Impact Summit. And we are looking at, all the languages, obviously the 22 of Indian languages, which are there in our 8th schedule of Constitution. But we want to go beyond that. And there are efforts which Bhashini is doing to actually go beyond that. And we would help you to take that forward. But we are looking for innovative solutions and use cases from you. And of course, technologically, we are looking at quantization and miniaturization, quantization of models and miniaturization of the hardware here. Use cases can be many. It can be a child learning the mother tongue, farmer receiving the guidance from voice, frontline workers accessing support in real time, who may be on the other side of language divide, who may be on the other side of digital divide, who may be other side of the literacy divide. So each of these divides have to be conquered, and we are anticipating that we should be able to conquer each one of these divides, besides other efforts which are already going on. So we are looking at those kind of innovations coming up with us. And then there can be some if effective local realities with specific problems which can be there. So that is about talking about use cases which we haven't thought of. We have been actually projecting some of the use cases through our social media campaign, but that besides, you are free to think what could be the new use cases which are there. And we obviously are looking for various issues and problems which you might face, and we would try to also mentor around to give the solutions to that. Our inherent thought process has been collaborative because we built Bhashini platform with about 85 odd educational institutes. We are having 400 startups already using the APIs to work with us, and there are more who are going to join in. The data sets are all open. The models have been all open sourced. So we are looking at a totally open ecosystem which can actually take this forward and help you to take this forward and utilize all the technologies which we have in, right? And we are looking at various researchers, startups, academic institutions, industry partners, if there are government organizations who can actually participate in it and make this particular uh, challenge a success, as well as help to create the impact or the last mile to make society inclusive, bridge the language divide, bridge the digital divide, bridge the literacy divide, and ensure that we are serving the last mile in true sense. There can be many urban use cases. There can be many security related use cases, which we would be happy to receive. So we are not binding it by any specific use case or domain. We are looking for quite a vast breadth of use cases and solutions, and the best of them will get rewarded. So I wish you all the best for the challenge. May the best solutions win. May the best ideas get implemented. And we are, of course, there to help and mentor wherever there are challenges. But as you know, the effort has to be yours. There are prize monies which will be discussed during this call. So thank you very much and welcome to this nation building effort.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. And thank you, sir, for painting that picture of what inclusive AI could actually look like in India. And with that, we will transition to a short video, which will actually give you a sense of the different kind of use cases one can imagine with this prototype. So just allow me a second.
Most AI systems today are built behind closed doors and trained on Western languages. The new frontier now is embodied AI. That means glasses, robots, pencils, speakers. If they're entering our homes, our bodies, our personal spaces, then they need to be open, they need to be personal, and most importantly, they need to be multilingual.
Bhashini's partnership with CurrentAI focuses on building a public good, addressing a big problem in AI, that is linguistic diversity.
We'll be able to seize the opportunities given to us by technology if the people who are most affected by the problems are the ones leading the charge.
We have been building India's first national open source AI-enabled language platform, 350 AI models in 22 Indic languages, transforming billions of lives.
The device we're building with Bhashini is a handheld device. It's open source, it's running all local models, and most importantly, it's offline.
ये दवाई फिर से कितने दिन बाद डालनी है?
इस दवाई को 3 से 5 दिन बाद दोबारा डालो।
ठीक है, धन्यवाद।
Bonjour, combien coûte ce bracelet?
नमस्ते, ये चूड़ियाँ कितने की है?
मेरा हारमोनियम कहाँ रखा है और रास्ते में कोई रुकावट तो नहीं है?
हारमोनियम 20 कदम दूर स्टेज पर है। रास्ते में एक गद्दा है, संभल कर जाना।
At CurrentAI, our goal is to build a truly global, collaborative, and collective vision for AI, not one that's governed by any one country or one company.
I think all countries have a huge amount to bring to the table, and I'm a big believer in the power of collaboration.
The hardware is ready, the software is open, now we need you. Come innovate AI for your own language, for your own community.
We can't wait to see what you make.
Perfect. And with that, I'd like to invite Ayah Bdeir, CEO of CurrentAI, to talk a bit more about the partnership as well as the value of open source AI. Over to you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Ananya Sushant, for coordinating and helping be such incredible supporters and partners. And thank you, Amitabh, also for the partnership and all the work. I'm the CEO of CurrentAI. For those of you that may not know, CurrentAI is a public-private partnership. We are a nonprofit org based in France, but with a global remit. Our goal is to enable and empower a global and collective and collaborative vision for AI. We believe that if AI is going to be the transformative technology that we all think it is, it cannot be contained and controlled, by specific countries or specific companies. And therefore, we need to build for the public interest, just like the World Wide Web was built for the public interest and created a generation of businesses and artists and people that were able to build on top of it. We believe AI should be the same thing. As you all have seen over the past many months, embodied AI is the new frontier. It's where every large tech company is trying to create an offering so that they can be as close as possible to our homes, our bodies, our personal spaces, and really be able to have a deep understanding of the way we live our lives, gather data, be able to build products and services. But they are controlling all that data, all these services, all these terms. And so we need a public interest option. That is and was the impetus behind us coming into this collaboration with Bhashini. CurrentAI interfaces with governments and partners in 3 ways. We fund, we build, and we invest. We fund, that means giving builders and grantees, people funding to be able to create public interest AI according to themes that we care about. Our main first theme that we focus on is culture preservation, so culture and language preservation, which this project fits under. The second way is building. So this is us selecting partners who we have affiliation with or affinities with in terms of mission. We believe in what they're doing and we co-build with them in order to offer this vision for public interest AI. So Bhashini is in this category of a partner that we believe in and we partner with to create this embodied AI public option. And then we invest in movement infrastructure. So how to make sure that initiatives happening around the world are connected, they are additive, and they are coordinated. So this event is an example of some work that we're doing to help these initiatives turn into a movement. We want to support builders around the world. Right now, this focus is on India, but we'll be doing hackathons around the world as well, because this ecosystem really is and has to be global, and we want to make sure that people feel part of a much bigger whole and bigger ecosystem. So we can't wait to see what you invent. We want to see your biggest and craziest and most ambitious ideas, whether they're for new devices, new inventions, new products that you never thought you could create, or whether they're about really going in depth with a certain idea that already exists, making it more efficient, making it more cost effective, making it more usable. Invention operates in all these realms at the same time. So enjoy, have fun, work with each other. Really keep in mind working in AI for the public interest really is about collaboration and about enjoying this field and this movement that we're all building together. And we're right there with you. Thank you very much for this participation and help us spread the word.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ayah. And thank you for highlighting the value of public interest tech and collaboration. That is really the genesis of the Suno Sutra prototype. And for also talking about the importance of moving beyond big tech product and value capture. So we're going to be moving to Shailendra Singh sir now and Andrew Tergis, the engineers behind the Suno Sutra prototype, to talk about the different sort of stages in the innovation challenge, as well as demonstrate how the Suno Sutra prototype works. Over to you, Shailendra sir.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you so much, CEO Digital India Bhashini Division and CEO CurrentAI for setting the tone and the overall expectation. So we'll dive straight on what is there in the journey. So think of this as a journey from an idea in your head to a working prototype in your hand. So as we have designed that journey to unfold 3 simple stages. Stage 1 is all about application and screening. So once the challenge opens up today, the portal will stay open for a month. You can submit your application through portal, which is available on Bhashini's webpage. Link is available in the chat. If you could want to share the chat, be there. All you need to do is fill up the short application form available on the challenge portal with the details of the idea, technical specifications, and description of how the solution will integrate with Bhashini's language APIs. And there is a format of the presentation deck available on the website with more information on how to fill up the form and the kind of information we are seeking. So we are particularly encouraging collaborative teams, for example, academic researchers would working alongside with operational MSMEs, so that solutions combine technical depth as well as the real world context. So after the stage 1, applications are reviewed and 20 lucky teams will be selected for hardware development. And this is where the idea start turning up into something that you can actually see, test and hold. So if you are one of the 20 shortlisted teams, you will receive hardware kits, primarily dev boards from NVIDIA. From there, it becomes a development sprint to a build on the Suno Sutra prototype. So over the following weeks, team will work closely with you. The mentors would be there, integrate Bhashini APIs and AI models, and test their ideas with real users and communities. So the goal here is simple: to move from concept to functional prototype demonstration. At the end of this stage, a jury will review the prototype and select 10 teams that will advance to the final round, and that is the final prototype demonstration. So these 10 teams will have the opportunity to demonstrate their prototypes to a esteemed panel of judges, including both the CEOs that talked about. And this stage include focus on the live demonstration and some final tinkering and a chance for teams to talk about their bigger vision behind the idea. So 4 winners will be selected at the end. And based on the technical quality of the prototype, the creativity, the strength of the vision, and how teams are effectively using Bhashini APIs and system and CurrentAI expertise, it is important to highlight that the IP will remain with the organization, right? That's important thing. And at the end of the day, this challenge earlier was also talked about both the CEOs. It's not about generating ideas. It's also about building real human-centered AI system that can work in the environment where people actually live and work. And we are really looking forward and very excited that how and every one of us and what you will create at the end of the day. So these are the different stages. So with that, I would try to show the reference design or maybe a demo. Is that something, Ananya, we have to do? So I'll just show quickly the device that we had created, prototype. Of course, engineers. Okay, so this is the device. I'll just. This is the device that was also demoed during this. So we have switches, screen, and then we have a camera, which is in the plastic casing. And we have unfortunately ejected battery while I was trying to demonstrate. So I'm really sorry to take time. I'll take it later, the demo. But then this is equipped with the quantized model of Bhashini, and then it has the ability to take picture, get the things from the image. The LLM is triggered. But prior to that, you ask the question, automatic speech recognition kicks in. It translates into the language which LLM understand, which is English primarily, and get the response back in the same language which was started with, and start speaking out loud as well. So this is the demo, and I'll try to showcase the real demonstration once it boots up. Andrew, you would like to share more details about the hardware? I can open it for you.
Sure thing. Yeah, it's this is literally the exact same device we pulled together for the AI Impact Summit. So some of the aspects there are aspects of the prototype that we pulled together quickly to demonstrate this hardware for the summit. You can sort of see a large heatsink there on the back of a carrier board. So this design is built around the NVIDIA Jetson platform, although we hope to support projects that's with any wide variety of embedded edge AI platforms. But kind of in the center there is an NVIDIA Jetson carrier board. It's been miniaturized to fit into this enclosure, and there's a heatsink on the back for the SSD to remain cool. And on the front, you can sort of see wires traveling to that small TFT touchscreen with capacitive touch and the suite of buttons with RGB LEDs behind them. We are opting here for sort of smaller, more inexpensive embedded displays that can be more effectively miniaturized and sort of productionized for a production wearable, handheld device. There's a hole on the side there for the battery, which is purely something we've kind of created for this demo, but in the future, the battery will fit safely inside of the device and be charged. And then at the front there, you can sort of see a small black rectangle for the camera, which is an 8-megapixel USB 2.0 camera that can be used for visual LLM inference. So, the device can take a frame from that, run it through a visual LLM, and receive feedback be able to answer questions about the world. With the speaker, microphone hiding inside, and a variety of other things. But yeah, this is the handheld version. It's all sandwiched together with a variety of kind of custom cable assemblies tying it all together. And we'll talk more about the hardware that we'll be able to provide for you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Andrew. Shailendra sir, if we can power up the device, then we'll come back to you once Andrew has walked us through the GitHub documentation and and details around the developer kit. Andrew, back to you.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'd like to give you a sense of what what to expect as one of those lucky shortlisted teams that receives a hardware kit. We've prepared a software and a hardware and software package that participants can use to get up and running quickly on our Suno Sutra platform. So any teams that pass the application review stage will be provided with a hardware kit, and the hardware kit will be a simplified sort of desktop version of what you just saw today, a desktop version of the prototype. Our goal was to create a platform that can be quickly picked up by users with a wide variety of technical backgrounds. So as a result, we wanted to use standard off-the-shelf products and avoid the need for soldering or complex assembly. So anything can be easily assembled by hand, with a variety of skill levels. The software stack has been designed for modularity and rapid development. So that means once you've had a chance to build your application on this desktop version at your desk, the code could be seamlessly ported from the desktop version to a handheld version and run out in the field. The software has support for a variety of different boards and platforms within the Suno Sutra ecosystem. All of the documentation is available on a publicly accessible GitHub repository as open source, and I can highlight a few key portions of it for you now to give you a sense for what to expect. The hardware repository contains all of the resources needed to build up and understand how the hardware works. So we'll be providing system architecture diagrams, part lists, detailed step-by-step instructions, and supplemental files on how to prepare new hardware for use. You'll be receiving a pre-prepared kit, but anyone could use this information to build up their own version. We're intending for this to be an open source platform. So we're going to give you a head start with that challenge kit, but anyone can contribute as well. Elsewhere in the repository, you can find 3D CAD files for the housing for the handheld version of the device. And in the future, we'll be providing custom PCB files for a production version of the platform. On the software side, on the software stack, we've provided full source code for the sample application that we demoed at the AI Impact Summit, and that Shailendra was describing. So this is built on a simple Python framework that attempts to simplify the development process. We've provided abstractions for the hardware interface and several useful AI models from the Bhashini team. So we'll be preloading it with those models for the Bhashini team. That means you don't need to understand the workings of hardware, inner workings of a SPY bus, or optimization of an inference server to start developing. We want to get you up and running quickly. But this is ultimately an embedded Linux project. So you can think of it as a tiny computer embedded inside of that handheld device. It's running a modified version of Ubuntu. So at the end of the day, you're welcome to connect to this tiny PC and install whatever software packages you may like. You're not constrained to use our Python framework. You can download or compile any AI processing framework you might need to complete your solution. But again, we're trying to jumpstart you with all of the, a suite of all of the popular LLM inference servers and AI processing libraries will come pre-deployed on the device. And the software repository has two main components. The first would be detailed instructions on how to provision the root file system, the rootfs of the Suno Sutra device. So this includes the Ubuntu operating system, custom kernel, drivers, and everything needed for hardware support. AI support libraries and a handful of AI models will all come preloaded as a part of that rootfs. Once the rootfs is flashed, it'll boot up as a normal tiny PC and allow users to connect to it over SSH or a serial terminal for further development. The second main component is the Python framework called Pocket Infer. This is a Python module that provides a system service, Pocket Infer system and systemd service for running AI applications on the device. The Pocket Infer service will take care of instantiating the hardware, and it'll provide easy interfaces to grab an image from the webcam, audio from the microphone, and button presses for the UI. It also provides a simplified UI designed to run on small LCD screens suitable for a hardware product. So you can think of this as like a super lightweight OS designed specifically for edge and handheld AI inference. We created this to save memory on the device. We don't need to load a full desktop environment. We can save that RAM for inference, and you can use this smaller, more lightweight, agile OS instead. So yeah, that's what you can expect. You'd be able to, once you receive the hardware kit, you'd deploy this Python. You'd run it from the terminal, and you'd see our kind of demo application spring to life, and you would then be free to go and tinker with it. You can develop on top of our framework. You could bring your own framework, whatever you need to bring your exciting new vision to life. And I'll be available to help develop and debug projects on the platform and help make it all come together. Looking forward to it. That's it for me.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Andrew, and thank you for walking us through what the GitHub documentation and the developer kit actually looks like. Shailendra, so is the device booted up? Can we come back to you?
Yes, it is boot up. So I was so excited to start demoing the prototype, but then unfortunately, accidentally, I ejected the battery out of it. Sorry for that. So what I have is, I have two books at this point in time. So I have one book called Deep Work, which I'm putting it on the table. And the another book that I have is Rebuilding India. So what I'm going to do is these two books I'm putting on the table, and I'll try to take image of it and then let the system identifies and talk about what exactly. I'll try to ask in Hindi so that it gives you that it is embedded in with Bhashini Hindi model, and then let's see. So this is the working system, but let me first try to use the demo. मेरे सामने क्या है?
आपके सामने दो पुस्तकें हैं, कैल में वर्ल्ड की रीड और नंदन ने लेखनी और वीरा शाह की रिबूटिंग इंडिया.
Right. So this device has actually picked up the thing. I'll just try to show it whether I'm able to do it. So this is the running device, and there is a battery. I'm a little careful whether I'm able to showcase that. And this is able to capture my voice. So using Bhashini's automatic speech recognition model, and then it is talking to the LLM in English. So underneath, NMT model is translating whatever I'm speaking in Hindi, and then the translation is happening, and the output from LLM is being received, and again translation is happening through NMT, Bhashini's NMT model, and then it is given to the text-to-speech model that we have quantized for to fit this particular thing in just 8 GB device. So that's something that we have built up, and thanks to Andrew for all the hardware things that you have done for us.
And with pretty amazing, impressive latency as well, Shailendra, I must say. So kudos, and I guess the sky is the limit for what this group will put together with the hardware kit. Ananya, back to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for demonstrating what the prototype actually does. And with that, I will hand it over to Sushant to touch briefly on what the different use cases can look like.
Great. Thank you, Ananya. I see there are quite a few questions in the chat. There's been a lot of activity. And the demo, when it happened, was quite impressive as well, especially even given the constrained environment of the online chat, online window. So I think there's one question that is consistently being asked, and I thought I'd address that before moving on. And that is, I have already applied for the challenge. Do I need to apply again? So if you have already applied, you do not need to apply for the challenge, and your application would be accepted and will go through the steps. There are a few updates that will happen to the challenge website, which is in terms of the dates, the specific steps, which will be updated pretty soon. And you'll be able to see it updated on that same link that Ananya has shared with you. The GitHub link has also been shared, and in due course, we will share the details of when some of the sessions we will set up for, coaching session with Andrew, or being able to, debug, being able to understand how to work with the specific device, etc. The first step is you apply with your idea, and if your approach meets the bar and goes through this rigorous assessment process, then you receive the hardware kit. And this was sort of another question that people had put up. So I will dive into detailing out what could be the kind of use cases as well. And while I am doing that, I would request everyone to please write down your questions in the chat. And once I have detailed out some of the use cases, we will go through those questions one by one. We will not be taking questions right now, but please put them in the chat and we will take them one by one. And that's true for people who have their hands raised as well. Please type your questions in the chat. So thinking about use cases, you saw the video that we had played earlier, which pretty much brought to life what could be the different types of use cases. And when Shailendra showed us that device, and we went through a very rigorous process that Andrew was putting that device together, the prototype, in a very short period of time, through working through his days and nights. And the prototype, while it works and it's quite impressive, and we have showcased it to the dignitaries as well in India, it is intentionally left unfinished. And what we want to do with this innovation challenge is to invite all of you, the innovators, the thinkers, the researchers, the students, the small business owners, to collaborate and to think about where it can be used. There was this one question around, why not just put it on a mobile phone? And there's a clear answer to that. We are trying to build it on a platform that's open source. It's not tied down by any one technology or any one country's platform, but is available for all to use, even in settings that are offline. So there are specific use cases that will be amenable to a model which has to be offline, which works as a prototype, that doesn't need to be in any walled gardens where it's the utility is determined by the rules of that particular platform. So open source software, open source hardware is the key of what we are trying to do with building this public interest technology. As Amitabh earlier also pointed out, that it has to address accessibility, linguistic diversity, be cognizant to the fact that digital literacy, or there's a big digital divide as well, and low connectivity constraints. So while a mobile phone may work outside a classroom for students, when you come inside the classroom, inside those four walls, students don't have A, access to mobile phones, and B, connectivity inside those rural settings in classrooms is very limited. So what do you do about it? And therefore, education could be one of the use cases where you think about innovative ways in which this can be utilized, whether it's for clearing doubts resolution for students who could use it as like a one device within the classroom in their native languages. And, Bhashini has done a lot of work in low resource languages as well. That could be useful. And especially when you're working with kids, privacy, preserving privacy, ensuring that data protection is paramount would be absolutely key. Then, education is one. You saw the use case around Indian farmers, which goes from advisory to also being able to look at the surroundings, and there's vision model. Look at the surroundings and provide, based on those inputs, the advice on crop resilience, sustainable farming practices, etc. And then the largest one would be around public services. So the welfare ecosystem, which is another opportunity to see how government schemes and benefits can be expanded to a broader pool, which it is not reaching today for various reasons, including the digital divide, including remoteness, including lack of connectivity, etc. And again, these are not exhaustive, but through this innovation challenge, we want you to imagine and reimagine what such a device could do. We have demonstrated that it's not a hammer looking for nail. There are real use cases where it can be deployed today. And we are looking for similar ideas coming in from you. And of course, to build the capacity of the ecosystem on hardware as well, we would host sessions with Andrew, with the Bhashini team, so that we in many cases we can co-create it as well. Ananya, back to you, and we can go through questions one by one.
Amazing. Thanks, Sushant. And thank you for painting that picture of what the different use cases can look like. So just to sort of highlight a few things before we go into the Q&A, there are prizes of up to INR 80 lakhs available in relation to this challenge. 20 selected teams will be receiving the developer kit, as Andrew mentioned and highlighted to you what that would actually look like. And for winners, you also have an opportunity to actually deploy your prototype, your product in government departments, and we will help sort of facilitate those pathways and connections for you. So with that, we can move into Q&A. Let me just pull up some of the questions that we've received so far. Andrew and Shailendra, so please feel free to jump in on these. So we have a question on, why the Jetson Nano, why not solutions like Raspberry Pi and Orange Pi, which are much more affordable? Andrew, maybe you want to take this one?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just preparing a response for this one. So first of all, the platform is designed to be flexible enough to run on multiple platforms. So even though we are only kind of shipping it with support for the Jetson initially, it's built specifically on the Jetson Orin Nano 8 GB. We hope the platform can be extensible to other the Suno Sutra kind of software can be extensible to other platforms. So Raspberry Pi is definitely a candidate. But so for why we sort of chose the Jetson, we developed this with initially one kind of flagship application in mind, which is the translation demo that you saw Shailendra show you moments ago. And for that application, in order to get the latency down low enough, we really needed enough compute, the compute provided by the Jetson. We needed the full 8 GB of VRAM for sure, and we needed the enough of the throughput to kind of get a response back within a reasonable amount of time. And in our research, we found that we really needed a large NPU to achieve this. The Jetson has the equivalent of 67 TOPS of throughput with a quantized model. So for that application, we needed that level of horsepower. But for other applications, you might not need it. So we would love to support other platforms such as the Raspberry Pi. And I can also say the Raspberry Pi does have AI accelerators available, such as the Halo device, which can be enabled for LLM support. So there are options out there to make it work, and we'd love to develop them with you.
Amazing. Thanks, Andrew. So questions on the last date for registration and submission of applications. The last date for registration is July 5th. Please submit your application by that timeline. If you have any queries, do feel free to write to us over our email ID, and we will also be hosting a query session, so you'll have another opportunity to ask those questions. There's a question on team structure and teaming up with universities. Where does this need to be mentioned? So there's a PowerPoint presentation format on the website itself, and it has details on team composition, on the scoring criteria, all of those things mentioned in the PPT itself. So please include all of those details when you submit it. As Sushant mentioned, if you have already gone ahead and made your application, you do not need to submit another one. So no worries regarding that. Let's see. Is the software open source? Yes, it is completely open source. We've already touched upon this. All the documentation is available, and it's also available on Bhashini's website. The link is already in the chat. Okay, Andrew and Shailendra, sir, maybe question for you. If we're building a solution for the masses, but with the use of LLM, how do we manage cost?
So let me take that, Ananya, a few questions which I have been seeing there. Number one is that, we are open to any sort of devices which you bring in. Our idea is that it has to be, as I said in my discussion, that it has to be lightweight. It has to be working in offline environment, and it has to cover at least the functionality which has been shown by Shailendra. So that's one point which you should take it. And I see questions whether it can be on mobile, etc. We are looking at these 3 or 4 things which Shailendra showed on the device. And number 2 is that cost management, as far as we have given you a kind of roadmap in terms of use LLMs or use models which are available with Bhashini, etc. You are free again to use any of the models which are there, any of the systems which are there, as far as the systems, as far as building this idea or a prototype is concerned. But please keep those few of the functionalities, bare minimum functionalities which the prototype has shown, and working in the process of offline, right?
Thank you, sir. Yes, like sir mentioned, this needs to be open source. That's one of the key parts of this challenge. Yes, you will have a meeting recording. We will be sharing that with you soon. Can we go through what the challenge is step by step? Do we have to build something new or on top of Suno Sutra? Shailendra, sir, do you want to take this question?
So as sir mentioned that it should cover the bare minimum functionality as what prototype is. Otherwise, on top of it, what the new ideas, how you can be creative, that should help people at the end of the day using the real world use cases is something that we would look for.
Thank you, sir. Happy to also reiterate what the challenge timeline looks like. So like we mentioned, you have until July 1st to submit your application. The application is submitted through Bhashini's portal. There's a PowerPoint presentation that we'd like you to fill up in that particular format. Once we've received submissions, we will be reviewing them. Then we go ahead and we choose 20 teams. These 20 teams will be receiving the developer kits, like Andrew mentioned. So we will be shipping the hardware to you. And then you go into a sort of development sprint hardware build out where you have around a week to 10 days to really build on the hardware and create that prototype. Once that has been created, we will bring these 20 teams together for a virtual conversation with us and a virtual presentation where you're able to showcase the prototype to Bhashini leadership, to CurrentAI leadership, and then we will winnow it down to around 10 teams. These 10 teams will move forward to an in-person grand finale, which is likely to be held in September, where you will have the opportunity to present your prototype, not just to Bhashini and CurrentAI, but to world leaders in public interest tech and to industry leaders and other senior government officials. And on the basis of those presentations, we will then select 4 winners, and you will receive the prize money for those if you were selected as a winner, as well as an opportunity to deploy your prototype in government departments. So that's the timeline for the challenge. And throughout the challenge, you will also have access to mentorship both from Bhashini engineers and from CurrentAI. In terms of modularity of the device and the spec list, all of those documentations, the technical, the hardware architecture, everything is available on the GitHub documentation that has been shared here and is also available on Bhashini's website. Yeah, I think we've addressed most of the questions. If folks have any other questions in the room, please raise your hand and we'll call on you and you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
See, one more question which was there on the chatbot was that can I join solo or what kind of the team would be? I think the eligibility conditions on who can do this particular activity or who can join this is mentioned in the the challenge documentation, and you can follow it up accordingly.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. I saw...
Absolutely. Ananya, there are a few questions about evaluation. Well, let's go through them one by one and before opening up the floor. So is the evaluation based on idea and implementation, or the team's past achievements and background also play a role? So all of these, and you will see this on the link there, the evaluation criteria is mentioned stage-wise. And so these details will get answered over there. Timelines for the stages, Ananya, you've already covered. There's a question around, can we use SLM for this, which also functions offline? Not sure what the intent of this question is, but Andrew, is there a response that you'd like to give?
Not specifically, just in general, as long as anything that can fit within an 8 GB kind of memory window is available for development. And there's no limitation on the library support that you would need to pull in. We have certainly full support of the NVIDIA suite of libraries on this platform, but you can bring in whatever you need to run that inference.
Perfect. Thank you, Andrew. And there's also a question around clarifying what needs to be included in the hardware architecture diagram section of the application. My understanding is that the hardware will be provided by the organizers. So not sure what the details are expected from our side. So to this, my response would be that yes, there is a reference hardware that will be provided to those who qualify. The ones who would be qualifying for those sort of 20 spots will be based on what are the use cases and what is the plan or the vision of utilizing a hardware platform to achieve that particular use case. In terms of the hardware architecture section, is there anything else that you'd like to add, either Ananya or Andrew or Shailendra, any of you?
Yeah, so there is a question on whether we should constrain ourselves to the hardware given to us. So no constraints. This is the developer kit that we are sharing with you. You are invited to build on it. You are also invited to take it down and use as little or as much of it as you think is relevant for your prototype.
Okay. And there were questions around the GitHub repository, which I think Andrew has already answered in the chat. So that is taken care of. And
pull requests are welcome.
Yes. Wonderful. And there are a few comments that are in the chat. Now, if you've already entered your question in the chat and they've not been answered, feel free to raise your hands, and this is strictly for questions and last minute questions as well. Ananya, back to you.
Yeah, I see a few questions on what is the email ID we can use for any doubts. So we'll be sharing an email with all of you, and you can correspond with us on that email ID. Question, I think Sushant already answered the question on, what is expected in the hardware architecture. But like I said, you're not constrained to the developer kits being sent to you. So please do mention what your proposed idea is for your particular prototype. Any other questions?
Let the floor go open, Ananya, because we are already running out of time.
Yes, we're nearly at time. Yeah, so folks, please raise your hands if there's anything that has not yet been answered as yet, and we'll give you the space. I see Thinkarium offline. Neha, can we unmute them?
Hello.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, Amitabh sir, can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you, please.
Good evening, sir. Thank you. First of all, let me introduce to myself. I am the founder of Thinkarium Offline AI. I am working for the similar kind of a solution which we are working right now from past 3 years. And I'm very happy to share you that I can give you the whatever the solution you wanted.
See, Thinkarium, just one second. See, we have opened up a challenge which is there, and you're free to participate. So if you have done something, then, you please state that in your application, and we would be happy to hear it.
Definitely, sir, definitely.
Okay, so look at the application and fill it up. That's what my suggestion would be. Yeah, next question, please.
Durga Kumar, we can hear from you. Dhruv Sewaj, maybe we can hear from you while we wait for Durga to come back.
Sure, thank you. So my question was about the use of small language models. What we are doing now is we're designing an AI tutor for school students using a small language model to save costs. So there is no GPU.
Dhruv, once again, Dhruv, please.
Yes, sir.
See, we have floated a challenge. You can submit the ideas.
No, sir, my question, no, I'm not promoting. My question is related to this, sir. I'm only asking the question. So we were doing this. Now, the only reason we were using SLM to make it offline functional as well, but the device, the VYOMA Sutra, that makes it more like a physical application as well. So my question was, if this device has internet connectivity, and if we use a small language model, would we still be able to have the same
functionality? Again, Dhruv, I think,
please,
please listen to the problem statement which we have said. You need to actually cover the functionality which has been demonstrated. Number one reason for that functionality is offline.
Okay.
Right. Number two is open source.
Right.
The device as well as the other part of the activity has already been told that you can use anything. We are giving you a reference architecture, a reference hardware, reference models to kickstart the entire thing.
So we'd have the flexibility to use any model.
Use anything, but your primary condition, what is the basic thing, is the functionality which Shailendra showed you.
Okay, thank you so much. That is what I want. Thank you.
I just want to add some very quick color, which is that yes, a Wi-Fi interface will be provided for connectivity on this device, but it's not intended for you to use an online model. That Wi-Fi connectivity is there for developing purposes, so you can transfer files on and off, and for the ability to pull updates occasionally. But your core solution should be offline first.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we are at time. Durga Kumar, we can take a quick question before we wrap this up. Durga, are you here? Okay, I think we are at time, so we will wrap this up. For further questions, you can write to connect@kalpaimpact.com, and please keep an eye on the Bhashini page for all updates regarding query sessions and detailed overview of challenge timelines as well. Okay,
thank you.
That's all. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for joining, and please do apply.
Yes.